Thank you, buddy. No, he's over it now.
He's just being snuggleable. Hi, cutie boy. Cutie Kobe. We got some snow. Out for winter walks. I was just showing how we were out for our winter walks. We're starting an elimination diet this week. We just went to 3 grocery stores, Aldi, Meijer, and Whole Foods to round it out. And I don't know where we're gonna put all these groceries. Good thing it's like gonna be 0 degrees this week because we can tap into the outdoors as a freezer. But oh my gosh, this is like less than a week of groceries, theoretically. It's all very green. Okay, we got all our ingredients lined up for some pickles we're gonna attempt to make. Place the dill and black peppercorns in the bottom of a glass quart jar. Layer the cauliflower, green beans, and carrots on top of them. Pack them in tightly. We have partially thawed cauliflower, frozen green beans, and fresh carrots. Oh boy.
This is just gonna fit.
Should we have done less?
No, this is gonna be perfect.
Oh,
Then we
okay.
put cabbage on top of that.
Whisk together the water and salt in the glass measuring cup. Make sure the salt has dissolved and then pour the mixture over the vegetables.
Ready?
Ready.
And pour in.
Pour in. Uh-oh. Are we gonna need to swap to a bigger jar?
Well, no, I think the point is you just want it filled with salt water.
We still gotta put the cabbage in there.
Yeah.
Fold the cabbage leaf up and press it into the vegetables to ensure that they stay below the brine. I think you're kind of using it to anchor everything down. Cover tightly with the lid and place in an undisturbed spot in your kitchen away from direct sunlight for 5 to 7 days. Now we're making the vegetable seaweed stock for a couple of soups that we're gonna have this week. So Francisco already has in the parsley, celery, carrots.
The herbs, the rosemary and thyme.
Here is the vegetable seaweed stock that has to simmer for like 3 to 4 hours. We're also prepping for the carrot, cucumber, ginger, green juice. Pulled out our trusty old juicer.
I fucking hate this thing.
Why?
It's a pain in the ass. Alright, you ready? It's gonna get messy.
And we're prepping one more juice. This is the purple cabbage juice that's really looking quite green so far with just the Granny Smith apple, celery, and cucumbers, but we're also gonna add in a 1/4 head of purple cabbage. Okay, 3.5 hours later, time to take the stock off the stove. So that's our stock, huh?
Yep.
Wonder how it will taste.
I do not know. Oops.
You're just making a mess over
Making a mess over
here.
here.
Alright, we're starting our elimination diet today. I woke up with a little bit of a headache, so the last thing I want to do is have to take any medicine during these 2 days. So I'm going to try to avoid that by making some ginger tea. So I just have a tablespoon of fresh ginger boiling with a little bit of cinnamon. I have been sipping on juices all morning for breakfast, but it is 11 o'clock. So we're gonna get started on the soup. We made the stock last night, so I have all the ingredients pulled out. So for the first 2 days, it's supposed to be just all liquids, so we're gonna make a soup and then puree it.
Soup in progress. And the last phases of the soup, gonna add in the herbs.
Okay, our soup is ready for lunch. At least we get, you know, some hot food. There's some extra virgin olive oil in it, so it'll have some fat. So hopefully it'll be a little satiating.
We're entering the smoothie phase of this. I'm about to make a red cabbage and berry smoothie. Number 2 is pineapple, kale, mint, coconut water, and avocado.
I've definitely preferred the smoothies over the juices so far. This is the pineapple with kale smoothie and mint, and it's really refreshing and yummy. I have finished the detox phase of this elimination diet. So now I am going to resume eating solid foods, which is awesome. I had an apple first thing this morning because I was just really wanting to eat something. But I'm going to make breakfast now, so it's just going to be this rice that I'm going to prepare as like a oatmeal kind of thing. So what we're doing here is taking the rice and we're gonna grind it up. So essentially making like rice flour out of it. Francisco said he tried this before and it worked best in the little like coffee bean grinder we have for like spices and herbs and coffee beans. So that's what I'm going to attempt. So the rice essentially goes from looking like that to looking like that. Kind of cool. So I just have to do this in like, it might be 3 to 4 batches to get it all ground down since it's a smaller container. And we add in 4 cups of water and a pinch of sea salt. And then we're gonna boil that up. Okay, it is starting to come to a boil now. It actually almost like immediately got super thick, and look at it bubbling all crazy style. I reduced the heat to low, but I know when Francisco said he made it the first time, it started sticking like really bad. So the directions actually say to let it simmer for 10 to 15 minutes and whisk occasionally, but he said you pretty much had to whisk constantly or it would stick bad. So I guess I'll just stay here and do this. I'm making Francisco's bowl first. He requested some maple syrup, cinnamon, and some papitas. For mine, I'm gonna follow the recommendation in the book. And I'm gonna add some coconut sugar here. This is my first time trying the coconut sugar. I tried a little bit just on its own. Not as sweet as you're used to with sugar, but we'll have to see how it kind of mixes in with things. So that was a lot. Then I am also going to add some cinnamon, and I'm gonna add some fresh blueberries. It said to actually add frozen blueberries, so maybe it'll kind of help it cool down a little bit. I like a lot of blueberries, so I'm kind of going to go a little heavy. But there we have it. Those are our breakfasts. Mine, Francisco's. Okay, we are making sunflower seed burgers. That's what they're called, right? Sunny sunflower seed burgers. So we are blending up some sunflower seeds with some herbs and spices. Here's our sunflower mixture. Sunflower seed burgers. You're getting a little color on them. How do you like your new pans?
I like it.
Here's the final product. I'm having 2 of the burgers and we're just using romaine lettuce for our bread. And then we topped it with some grilled mushrooms and just some spinach and arugula. Just to update, breakfast sucked. The burgers were actually not bad. And now I'm making vanilla coconut snowballs. I have the coconut butter and coconut oil in the pan that I'm gonna heat up, and then those are the rest of my ingredients. I'm gonna add in 1 tablespoon of honey. Then we're gonna process that for a few seconds. We're gonna add 1 cup of shredded coconut. I'm using these coconut flakes. Then we're gonna do a ½ teaspoon of pure vanilla powder. I've never used vanilla powder before. And then just a pinch of sea salt. And we're gonna process that. So here's the finished mix. And I'm gonna roll it in some coconut. Oh my gosh, it seems like we are just going to be non-stop making food on this elimination diet. So now I'm going to make some vanilla hemp milk. So I'm adding a ½ cup of hemp seeds, 3 cups of water, tablespoon of maple syrup, ½ teaspoon of the raw vanilla powder, and another pinch of sea salt. And then we're just gonna blend that up and hopefully it makes something tasty. Now I'm prepping breakfast for tomorrow, which is going to be spiced seed granola. So I'm starting with 2 cups of pumpkin seeds, 2 cups of raw sunflower seeds, but also these are the finished vanilla coconut snowballs. I need to put those in the fridge. So it's kind of like a medium grind. Some of it is more flour-like, but others are just more chunky pieces. I don't know exactly what the consistency is supposed to be, so we'll see how that turns out. 3 tablespoons chia seeds, 2 teaspoons ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon ground ginger, a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. Now we're just gonna stir this all together. A 1/4 cup of maple syrup, is actually slightly less, so I'm not sure if I'm going to open another one or just leave it like that. Finally, I'm going to pour in the melted coconut oil. Ignore all the accoutrements that have been added in just from stirring the coconut oil while it was melting. And then of course we're going to mix this up. It's probably less chunky than it was supposed to be, but we're kind of going to be having it as cereal anyway, so I think that's fine. And then if it's good, if the taste is good, I can make it chunkier next time. I have the granola spread out on the baking sheet, and now I'm going to put it in the oven. So here's the spiced seed granola that I made yesterday. And here's the vanilla hemp milk. It's kind of like separated, so I'm going to shake it up. But I'm about to make our breakfast, which is just gonna be like a bowl of cereal, a bowl of granola. Oh, okay, there we go. There we go, one bowl of homemade cereal. Yeah, it's very good. Not bad at all. I'm making a basil, radish, quinoa salad, and the dressing is what has all the basil in it. So I'm about to blend this up. Okay, so basically it's just a quinoa salad with some chopped radishes, some green onions, and the basil dressing. I tried a little bit. It's actually not bad. Here is some sauteed kale and shiitake mushrooms. I'm making ginger apple dressing. So the first thing that's going to go into the food processor is a chopped and cored green apple, Granny Smith apple, half cup of water, 1/3 cup of evu, calls for 1 small garlic clove. This one is kind of like medium sized, so I'm gonna just put in half of that. Then we'll do about 1 inch piece of fresh ginger, and then some sea salt. And now we blend. Here's our finished dressing. For the actual salad, I'm going to add some spinach and arugula. And we're gonna need another Granny Smith apple going into the salad. 2 to 3 green onions, so I'm gonna do 2 here. It calls for a half cup of raw pumpkin seeds toasted. I'm just gonna use these ones since they're organic and they follow all of the rules. 1/4 cup of raisins. And then I'm gonna chop up this squash. We're making brown rice tortillas, and we got a new tortilla press just for this endeavor. Francisco does not have high hopes for these tortillas, however, but we're gonna give them a try. Be cool if they did turn out good.
Great.
Francisco made some sweet potatoes that are very burnt, so I'm gonna see if I can scrape off the burnt parts and salvage them. I am going to make the quinoa porridge that we made once before and enjoyed. So we start by taking 1.5 cups of cooked quinoa that's been rinsed and drained. I had soaked this quinoa overnight. That's supposed to help make it more easy to digest. So I'm gonna add in less water, just 2.25 cups instead of the 4 cups that it calls for. I used a different coconut milk this time and it came out looking a little crazy. So I'm gonna microwave this because it's really chunky. It's looking creamier now. So I'm gonna add in a cup of the coconut milk. And then we just got 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. I just added in a cup of blueberries and it's almost done cooking. Here in Francisco's bowl, he has honey, granola, and toasted coconut. I haven't added in my toppings yet, but this is my bowl of quinoa porridge. I'm gonna do some coconut sugar in mine. Probably a pretty healthy sprinkle. It's a Saturday breakfast. A little sprinkle of some chia seeds, some cinnamon, and a little bit of maple syrup. Oh my gosh, I forgot my toasted coconut. Prepping some kale to mix up for some kale chips. Honestly, 2 weeks kind of flew by, and we are already to the point where we're going to be reintroducing foods, starting with citrus. So I have a grapefruit, and I'm going to make bruleed grapefruit for breakfast. So I just start by having this. One side is clearly much larger than the other, but that is my fault. Got the little toaster oven set up. So we're gonna broil that, just gonna get it preheated. It says to use a small paring knife just to kind of loosen things up a little bit. So I'm just gonna go around the edges of the grapefruit here. It's very juicy. I'm really not expecting citrus to be a problem for me. I know that one of the commonly cited reasons that it could be is because it can interact with certain medications. Now we're gonna drizzle 1 tablespoon of honey over each grapefruit half. We got some cinnamon going on and some nutmeg. Honestly, I just think that was kind of a bad recipe. There probably just should have been more steps about like drying the grapefruit and stuff, but here we are. I feel like a lot of the liquid kind of just melted off of it, but it's fine.